Ayo, it's Fila, and welcome back to another Seventh Haven video. You've probably seen a ton of tip videos from the Cycle Frontier, but there's a couple like super useful tips that's a little bit smaller that some of these YouTubers may not be covering that we see everywhere, and some of them are really small, so some people just don't answer them in the video. So that's what we plan to do. We can probably make like 6 of these videos, but we want to make sure that we tackle some of the super small ones. If you have any more questions, you can put them in the comment section below. And if we have like enough really good questions that's kind of smaller that any other YouTuber probably didn't cover, we will try and cover those. So, first question, how much stash space can you have? The answer is 235 slots. This is really frustrating for the Cycle Frontier because, I mean, whenever you jump into these games, you need that stash space. Like you're picking up so much stuff. You're going through the world. You're finding so much stuff. You're doing these missions. A lot of times you don't need some stuff, and especially like some rusted stuff. But like you need that stash space. You can upgrade this if I'm not mistaken. But try and be on the lookout for those purple backpacks. You can even craft the purple backpacks, especially at like the printing station. You can probably even buy them at some of the vendors. But the answer is 235. Make sure that you keep what you need and throw away what you do not. And on that note, the second question that we have is, do rustic guns have a purpose? You need to just sell these guys, or you can use them as a throwaway whenever you are scavenging. So a lot of the times whenever you're running through the world, you might want to get this mission done and you might be really close. Like for instance, I need these compound sheets. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, compound sheets. I just got all 5 of them, but I did jump into this world with some pretty good guns that I actually needed and stuff like that. Well, for the rusted weapons and stuff like that, you can really just jump into the world with the rusted weapons. They don't do as much damage, but you're really there to just scavenge and complete the missions anyway. So you want to go with like the intent to bring some of your really good like purple or even gold weapons and stuff like that. The rusted weapons really will help you in that regard. But if you got so many like gray weapons and green weapons that you just like have no use for and you end up selling those, just sell the rusted weapons because like then they just have no use. You can get a little bit of currency from them, but that's pretty much all the rusted weapons have. The third question is, does loot spawn over time? Loot respawns once per storm if nobody's in the area for at least like 10 to 15 minutes. You're gonna hear this storm overhead a lot of the times. It's gonna get a little dark. You are in instance-based games, so like the loot might stay there for a certain amount of time, but a lot of people are jumping into like these instances and grabbing up some of this loot. So a lot of times that you go somewhere and you just can't find anything. That's the reason why. So if you hear a storm, stay out of the area for about 10, maybe 15 minutes, come back, and everything should be respawned by that point. The fifth question is, how important is the audio? You gotta know the audio hierarchy from like the loudest to the quietest. Gunfire is probably the loudest, heavy breathing and like running, footsteps, walking footsteps. Crouching is near silent. However, walking over things such as like twigs and broken glass and loose rock piles is going to create a distinct audio noise that people can hear. Birds can be disturbed, which you heard earlier in the video when it first started, which can also give off a distinct audio cue. People can hear that and just know that somebody's in the area because the NPCs and the monsters will not disturb the birds. It just will not go off. So if you're in an area and you feel like you didn't disturb any birds, or if you're a little bit further away from something and you see some birds kind of fly away, you can kind of tell that there's an enemy in the area. It's also good to be mindful of your pathing. If you want to avoid fights, just try to take the shortest routes that are out of the way. And lastly, being heard first can straight up be like it could be the determining factor in the fight, honestly. So make sure to stop running or even stand still when you hear suspicious noise, because a lot of the times you could be walking over glass or twigs, but there could be an enemy right around the corner from you, honestly. And he who sits in the corner and camps first, I hate to say it, is probably going to win that gunfight depending on what gun he got. It probably don't even depend on what gun he got. If you're walking by and he's shooting you in the back, you're just done. You're going to lose all your loot. You don't want to do that. Most of the time, if it's another player, they probably didn't hear you yet if you just stop, kind of look around and see what kind of audio cues is going on. a lot of times that the other player won't even hear you. Like right now, I just walked up. I heard that guy just now shoot. I think he was shooting at a creature, and I was just like, didn't know just now, just saw him. I was like, you know what? I really came on this journey to grab a couple compound sheets and just GTFO. So I was gonna audio and like radio to that guy and tell him, hey, I'm over here, but sometimes it's probably better to just run away because you never know what kind of gun that dude had. And I did not really want to find out. Sometimes jumping into a game and not knowing where people are and getting shot in the back is really frustrating whenever you just come to like do a quest and stuff like that. And a lot of the times that happens, honestly. I mean, last game, wow, I didn't know what that was. But last game, I mean, I was just talking about the audio, and the audio can be really, really, really bad sometimes. And a lot of times you just can't even tell where somebody's at. So honestly, it's probably best to just avoid some fights if you can. I didn't know if this dude was chasing me the entire time. So that's kind of a new tip, honestly. Avoid the fight if you can. I could have shot at that guy, but I really only had a pistol. You can see that I just got some white weapons. And remember about those audio cues, guys. These are the tips that I wanted to show and share with some of the newer players that actually gets asked a lot. But there's tons of tips, honestly. I mean, like you probably watched a couple videos already, but these are like the smaller tips that people don't really answer unless you like answer in the comment section. So, got any more tips? I mean, any more questions that you need answered? We do have a lot of information, like we look at the wiki and stuff like that. But I know that people watch videos these days, so just let us know what you want to know. And thank you for watching the video. Probably got one more video in this game, unless this video does like maybe 20 or 30 likes. But thank you for watching. Fila out.